Hello everybody, welcome to Tactic Techniques. Get important interview questions and answers. What is a version control system? A version control system allows you to track the history of a collection of files. Each version captures a snapshot of the files at a certain point in time, and the VCS allows you to switch between these versions. What is a Git repository? A repository is a file structure where Git stores all the project-based files. Git can either stores the files on the local or the remote repository. What does git status command do? Git status command is used for showing the difference between the working directory and the index, which is helpful for understanding Git in depth and also keep track of the tracked and non-tracked changes. What language is used in Git? Git is a fast and reliable version control system, and the language that makes this possible is C. Using C language reduces the overhead of runtimes, which are common in high-level languages. How will you resolve conflict in Git? 1. Identify the files that have conflicts. 2. Discuss with members who have worked on the file and ensure that the required changes are done in the file. 3. Add these files to the staged section by using the git add command. 4. Commit these changes using the git commit command. 5. Finally, push the changes to the branch using the git. You have accidentally deleted a branch. Is there any way to recover it and bring it back? Using the git reflog command, you are able to inspect all of the recent head pointer movements in this repository. If the deletion hasn't been too long ago, you should be able to find the last commit on this branch. Using that commit's SHA1 hash, you are then able to recreate the branch. What is a version control system? Mention its types. Local version control systems have a database that maintains all the file changes on disk under revision control in a special format. Centralized version control systems contain one repository, and each user gets their own working copy. Distributed version control systems contain multiple repositories, each accessible to separate users. What is forking in Git? A repository copy is called a fork. What is cherry pick in Git? Git cherry pick is a command that allows the picking of arbitrary Git commits by reference and adding them to the head. Cherry picking is the process of picking a commit from one branch and applying it to another. It helps in undoing changes. What is the difference between Git and GitHub? Git is a revision control system, a tool to manage your source code history. GitHub is a hosting service for Git repositories. GitHub is a website where you can upload a copy of your Git repository. Git config, configure the email address and username. Git init, initialization of an empty Git repository. Git diff, present changes made to the file. Git add, add files to the staging area. Git commit, commit head adjustments but not to the remote repository. Git log, it is used to find the specific commit in the history. Git rm, file, you can use the command to delete files from the directory and stage the deletion. Git branch merged, the command will enlist every branch merged with the existing branch. Git branch no merged, the command will enlist every branch that has not integrated with the current branch. Git show, shows content changes of the specific commit. Git pull, fetches and merges changes on the remote server to your working directory. Git stash, command takes your uncommitted changes, both staged and unstaged, saves them away for later. Git merge, merges the specified branch's history into the current branch. Git rebase, cleans up your commit to make all your changes a single commit. What do you understand by the term cherry pick in Git? Cherry picking is the act of picking a commit from a branch and applying it to another. Git cherry pick can be useful for undoing changes. Can broken commits be fixed? Yes, git commit, amend. This command will find a broken commit and restore its functionality, removing the error message in the process. How can I rename a branch? Git branch m current branch name new branch name. What is git stash? A developer working with a current branch wants to switch to another branch to work on something else, but the developer doesn't want to commit changes to your unfinished work. It takes your modified tracked files and saves them on a stack of unfinished changes that you can reapply at any time. How to delete a local branch in Git. Git branch d branch underscore name. The D option stands for delete, which would delete the local branch, only if you have already pushed and merged it with your remote branches. Git branch d branch underscore name. The D option stands for delete force, which deletes the branch regardless of its push and merge status. What is Git revert? The Git revert command is used to undo the changes from a previous commit. This creates a new commit history to the project and it doesn't modify existing commit history. Why SSH key is used in Git? We need a secure communication channel to push code changes to the Git server such as GitLab or GitHub. SSH key is a way of authentication without entering a username and passwords. How to remove untracked files in Git? Git cleanf permanently delete untracked files, therefore it is recommenced to take precautions. Git clean see which files will be deleted. What is bare repository in Git? A bare repository in Git includes the version control information and no working files, no tree, and it doesn't include the special Git subdirectory. What is Git stash drop? When you are done with the stashed element or want to delete it from the directory, run the git stash drop command. It will delete the last added stash item by default. What is the purpose of the git clone? The git clone command generates a copy of a current Git repository. Mention some of the best graphical Git customers for Linux. Git Cola, SmartGit, GitG, Git GUI, Giggle, to Git. How to add file to Git ignore? Git config global core excludes file /git ignore. What is head in Git? Head is like a pointer in Git which always point to last commit ID of current checkout branch. What is Git flow? It is a set of scripts that combine standard Git commands to perform multiple tasks automatically and in a predefined order. What does Git reset do? Git reset command will move current branch head to specific commit ID. What is stash in Git? A stash in Git is a staging area to save the uncommitted files temporarily so that it can be reaccessed and reapplied later. How to untrack a file without deletion? Git rm cached file name. How to list information about a commit in Git? Git show commit ID. How to avoid full details of all the commits and only show useful information? Decorate option. How to search a bug introduced by some commit? Git bisect. How to undo git commit? Git reset hardhead 1. How many reference types are there in Git? Branches, tags, remotes. What is the default folder of branches reference type in Git? Git/revs/heads. What is the default folder of tags reference type in Git? Git/refs/tags. What is the default folder of remote reference type in Git? Git/refs/remotes. How to delete a remote branch in Git? Git push origin delete remote _branch. How to list all the local and remote branches in Git? Git branch A. How to list only remote branches in Git? Git branch R. How to use Git? To save all the project files in a Git repo, below steps needs to be performed inside the project root directory. 1. Git init. 2. Git config global user.email your email ID. 3. Git config global user.name your name. 4. Git add. 5. Git commit add your comment here. Which hashing techniques are used in Git to generate IDs? SHA-1 or SHA-256. What are the different states in which a file can exist in Git repo? Unmodified, modified, staged, untracked. What is detached head in Git? Detached head basically means it is pointing to a commit ID rather than any branch. How to view all the changes saved in stash? Git stash list. How to remove stash changes without applying them? Git stash drop stash _name. What is Git reflog? Git reflog command keeps a track of all the changes done in a references, i.e. on a branch or tag, of a repository. What is the head in Git? A head is a reference to the currently checked out commit. It is a symbolic reference to the branch that we have checked out. What is the most popular branching strategy in Git? Master. This branch is used for production. and this branch head is always in production-ready state. Develop, this branch is used for development. In this branch we store the latest code developed in project. This is work-in-progress code. What is the use of Git InstaWeb? Git InstaWeb is a script by which we can browse a Git repository in the web. What are Git hooks? Git hooks are scripts that can run automatically on the occurrence of an event in a Git repository. These are used for automation of workflow in Git. What are the disadvantages of Git? Binary files. If we have a lot binary files, non-text, in our project, then Git becomes very slow. Steep learning curve. It takes some time for a newcomer to learn Git. Slow remote. What is Git blame? Git blame shows the author information of each line of the project's last modified source file. You can find the author name, author email, the commit hash of the last modified source file line by line. What are the three main trees maintained by Git? Head, this is the last commit snapshot. Index, this is the proposed next commit snaps. Working directory. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe my channel.